Sit, sit, baby, sit.
Hello, world. This is Edward Bevilacqua, the editor of La Voce magazine, and I have the great pleasure to be sitting here chatting with Nelson Sardelli and his two dogs named, what are their names?
Oh, this here is a diesel.
A diesel.
Diesel.
As opposed to
well,
gasoline.
She's Ethel.
Ethel, okay.
So if I get another dog, it's going to be regular or premium.
Good.
See,
great.
Yeah.
So this one is inquisitive.
Well,
Ethel's inquisitive.
They're both rescue dogs.
Okay.
They are, as you see, they're pit bulls, and they're about as gentle as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
We have two cats here too.
Huh.
I have birds and fish out there.
Okay.
And she's still casing you. You know what I mean?
I see.
Not because she's shy and she was really abused.
Well,
yeah, I'm very happy.
You've done a good job. You've done a good job with them.
Thank you.
So thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure.
At La Voce. You're the 46th person, but we've been practicing 45 times before today.
So we should be as ready as we're going to get.
I think so. I know that you are always ready. So, so Nelson, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about your Italian roots. Where are you from?
Sure. By birth, I am a Brazilian.
Okay.
But my mother, my father, all Italians. You know,
all of your mothers?
All of my mothers.
And all of your fathers?
No, fathers only one.
Okay. Good.
You got me there. Yes. But see, at the time when the Italians were coming to America, wasn't it necessarily USA?
Correct.
They said, I'm going to go to America. You know?
Right.
And they would go to Canada, they would go to
Brazil,
they would go to Argentina. Gosh, yes.
The Pope's family.
Huh?
The Pope's family went to Argentina.
There you go. Exactly. And
Uruguay.
Huh?
Uruguay. Was another one.
Italians in the Americans, you know, like Toronto has tremendous.
Yeah.
But my grandfather came to Canada. He didn't like it. He came to America. He didn't like it because he was a typical Italian guy that had the roots in Italy.
Ah.
He went to Brazil and he didn't like it. So he went back.
To Italy?
To Italy.
Wow.
My father, years after, decided to come, and he went right to Brazil.
Huh.
And, you know...
Where was your father born?
My father was born in Pontecorvo, provincia di Frosinone.
Northern Italy?
Huh?
Yeah. But my grandfather came to Canada. He didn't like it. He came to America. He didn't like it because he was a typical Italian guy that...
This has never happened.
It's all right. Good.
Brazil. He went back to Italy. My father, years after, decided to come and he went right to Brazil.
As I was demonstrating it to you, in the background, well, we're back, world. We just had a...
You're going to fall. You're not centered.
Okay. So, now, is that in northern Italy?
No, I mean, all that happened, what's going to happen?
No, no, that's just, we just ignore that.
Oh, we ignore it.
Yeah, because this is live for the whole world. We can't,
oh,
it's
that's
too
the
late.
way it is. Hello, folks. That's right.
Yeah, this is live.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
No.
It's not like Letterman, you know. It's
no,
not like,
that's right.
Okay.
No, even Michael Letterman, there was no take two.
Oh, there wasn't?
Was stand over there.
Okay, so live.
Why, yes.
Okay.
And
so you were saying where your father was born?
My father is from Pontecorvo, provincia di Frosinone. That's between Rome and Naples.
Oh, okay.
Some of the dialects is more closer to the Neapolitan.
Got it.
But they're considering Romans, you know what I mean?
Ah.
It's now my mother's side, I never have the city quite right. It's around Naples.
Okay.
But her father was a Sicilian.
Ah.
So
that's where your dark hair came from.
I'm in. Oh, yes. I'm in. So my father came to Brazil, and he came to Brazil with about 3 years of grammar school. And he's a typical guy that came to be he was the one who taught me. When you go to another country, you assimilate.
Right.
You learn the language.
Correct.
You become the solution, part of the solution, never of the problem. Because nobody came to your country and said, you gotta come here.
Right. Yes.
You decided to come, so.
Right.
So he
made sure you knew Italian, even though
not
you were born in
necessarily.
Brazil.
We're gonna get to that in a little while.
Okay.
He came and he started working like in everything, even working in place where they make
shovels.
I mean the
pitchforks.
Everything.
Okay.
And then he kept going. He kept studying himself. He became an inspector of vehicle in the police force in São Paulo, Brazil.
So he was now speaking Portuguese.
Yeah, I was speaking Portuguese, mezzo.
Okay.
Yeah, he was doing good, but
and so you can, if you speak Italian, you can communicate with people who speak Portuguese.
If they have a little.
If they're Brazilian.
Well, yeah, if there is a little effort there.
Okay, got it.
Well, the 5 Neo-Latin languages, Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian,
Okay.
Yeah. But
what about Croatian?
Croatian, no, they
Different.
come on Tuesdays only.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, my father kept studying, and he became, the first sergeant in the. Yes. And while he was doing that, he was preparing to be like a lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah. So the man was,
And what were you doing at this time?
I was faking.
Okay.
But then when the war broke up, the Second World War, he felt that he should not be a policeman, because it would be tough to come to somebody and say, I'm going to put you in a jail with an accident.
Sure.
So he just let go the police, and he became what he was, like a paralegal at the time. He passed away on the age of 3 days before he was 50.
Wow.
I have never forgiven him for that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now my mother was, typical mother. I mean, she could cook like there was no tomorrow. In fact, it made it tough for me to go and eat in my friend's house. In my friend's house, because their food was a little. I used to carry my own little bottle of olive oil so that I could cover the taste.
And now, was there an Italian community there?
Oh.
Or were they Brazilians?
Oh, no, the Italian community in São Paulo, Brazil, that's where I'm from. It's enormous. Oh, I mean, my father and my mother, they spoke Italian, but they never bothered teaching us, because they spoke Italian when it was not,
right.
for us to capisce,
Yeah.
but to capire. And anyway, the thing is that when my father passed away, I was 3 weeks before I was 15. Then this girl came from Italy, and she was from Venezia. Albignano, and all that, whatever.
Sophisticated. She was sophisticated.
Oh, no, she was Italian from the north. Nice, great family. And because of her, I learned to speak Italian in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Which means that if she was Polish, I would have learned how to speak Polish.
And how old was she?
We were 15, and she was about 14.
Okay.
But I'm talking.
So perfect.
Perfect, yeah. And at that age, you move mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we grew up in a Italians are like ubiquitously, you will find them.
Okay.
Big community. And it was funny, because my father is an Italian. He was not a drinker. I think I saw him drink wine once in a blue moon.
Not at dinner.
No, but a friend of his, because my father, people loved him. He was a leader. People came to him because he solved problems for them.
Right. Well, and
not necessarily in his daughter's wife, in his daughter's wedding.
Right.
Just anytime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why didn't you come to me earlier?
Yeah, I didn't have to come to my father in my sister's wife. Like, he fixed it.
Right.
So my father, a friend of his, says, Sardelli, I got this big barrel of wine that I made it. I want to give it to you, but I need the barrel empty by Monday. So my father, another friend of his that had a distillery, and he gave him 500 bottles.
Okay.
And both of us, and neither one
siphoned
of us
it in.
So you know that there's a percentage that.
Right.
So after about some 30, 40 bottles. My father lied down in the back seat of the Citroen car, and I lay on the front. So that we found a different way. That was the only time that I remember, but I was, how old could I be then? 13, 12. And, but, it was a typical Italian family that I know that the things that my father taught me, like my mother too, is, respect, love, and family,
So down there, do they have Sunday dinners?
Oh God,
family.
We ate Thursdays and Sunday was 100% Italian.
And the rest was dieting.
No, the rest. No, my mother was a cook. She could cook Portuguese cuisine. She could do many things. She was incredible. And
did she grow any like tomatoes or anything?
Well, we lived in the town.
Got it.
My mother was a miracle with plants.
Huh.
She would plant things and mix them, and the leaves would be so wonderful. She had that, yeah.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
It was great.
So now Thursday
Oh.
dinners, was that just the family or what?
On those would be our family only.
Got it.
But on Sundays it would be tutti quanti. You know what I mean? Everybody.
Sure.
The whole mishpur, the whole family, and it was always great in everything, because I remember growing up, my house, the back of my house and the back of a friend's house, I am in this street and he's in the street that crosses it, and our back windows, which happened to be our bathrooms. And you wanted to be an opera singer, and I thought I was going to be too. And you would see both of us. But he became a big one. I went for it, I could not.
Well, did he ever get on Letterman?
Huh?
Was he ever on Letterman?
No, but he was all over the municipal theaters.
Oh, okay. So he did well.
He did quite well.
And when did you start singing?
Well, that's another thing. Brazilians, to begin with, we sing because Mardi Gras, everybody's dancing on the street. Being an Italian, you fancy himself as a singer. So I sang for my father when I needed money.
Huh.
I would go to my father and say, I need a couple of bucks. He says, oh, okay, sing me,
like kind of like it's a test type of thing?
So I grew up with the old partirano le rondini and all that. So I would make a couple of bucks. But that was the limit of my singing. And then when I was attempting to, in Brazil, that wasn't it.
So now that I have two thoughts. I'm going to go with
the thoughts. I'm here. I'm going over.
So we went to the Sinatra show that you were able to get, like what, about 700 people? Not quite that
it
big.
was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. It was, it was beautiful because Bob Anderson was celebrating his 50th performance with the show, which is a magnificent show.
They didn't make that known.
No, Bob is such a nice guy.
Somebody yelled out in the middle of it, Who are you? Who are you?
No. What I said, you are great, Bob or Frank, whoever you are great.
That was you? Okay.
My daughter says, no more shouting. No, it's so we had it was a celebration, and of course we were talking about different things, but Bob is such a great talent and such a dedication, a guy that was able to really get a dream and stick with it.
Yeah.
He's been working on that for many years. In the beginning, I was even trying to get him the finances, but
really,
people that I knew, they were not quite show business, and but luckily he got some. And he should have.
Yeah. We interviewed
and
Bob.
He's not Italian.
Yeah, we interviewed Bob at the club, Angelo, and we had a and wait a second, we only interview Italians or Italian Americans.
Yeah.
This guy's Swedish. what do we do?
Yeah, but
so
it's a very southern part of
right, it's
Sweden,
very southern Sweden,
close to
right.
Milan.
Yeah. So, because of the Frank show, and
Yeah, sure.
and he does such a great job.
It is
But
big.
so, was it 700 people that you got there that night?
Oh no, I don't think it was 700 people. I got a few people. Yeah.
And
No. I mean, he was doing pretty good on his own. I just had these people. I wanted them to be a
the thing you did. We didn't promote Oche and the weekly news going out. When it was over, the next day I talked to Angela and I said, I think this was the first in the Italian American Club.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. No, it was great. Tony Bennett was there to watch him.
I mean, they were there because of you.
Well, I invited him. They were together. Yes. No, Las Vegas is one city, and it's a pity that some people, when they talk about Vegas, they say, "Oh, yeah, Sun City." I say, "Yeah."
Wait, Sun City?
No, Sin City.
Sin City.
It's my accent.
Oh, I got it right. Right.
It's
somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Tomato. Sun, Sin.
But I mean,
that was about 3 before I think didn't he come right 68, something like that? 71,
yeah,
72?
Yeah.
Here, 65. Now was that was I think very 78.
Another one that.
And what about
Nino came also.
Okay.
Passed away.
What was it? When did you first come to law? Were you an entertainer at that time?
I was an entertainer, but I had.
In Brazil or where?
No, entertaining started in the United States of America. I did things in Brazil, like on the show was. It was at the time. Very.
I'm just confused with these vowels, like how you do it.
George, sorry.
Like the.
Yeah. And George introduced me to everything. I said, okay, if you. It's not me there though. It's another. It's a cancel. Good doggy.
Okay, so raise your left hand. Yeah, see, I can see it down here.
Go ahead, see.
Well, I can do this. Oh, there we go. So we've been good.
We've been good up to what point?
Well, up to the whole point.
Even when we're talking about the thing not working?
Yes, even that. So they'll see me looking over.
This is great. This is great.
This is the perfect Nelson Sardelli Fiore type of production,
That's
right?
just about it. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and to the whole Fiore thing, you can either be Italian or non-Italian,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Ethel and Diesel. They're non-Italian.
We'll talk about it. I don't know how long we have, so this is why I'm concerned.
We're done when you're done, but
Oh, we're done. We're done.
no.
We're gonna be here for 3 weeks.
So,
Anyway,
when
came to America.
you came to America, you were at the Thunderbird. He said, "I've got to."
No, I came to America first. That's another story. Served in the United States.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, worked as a dance instructor. Did a bunch of stuff.
Back in
Back in Pontiac, Michigan.
Okay.
But I served in the Army in Fort Leonard Wood, in Georgia at Fort Gordon, and then Fort Benning. But then is when I start singing. In
the Army.
No, I started singing in Pontiac, Michigan, actually in Waterford.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how close is that to Detroit?
35 miles.
Okay. So
then I sang in big places in Detroit.
So yeah, the economy was good.
Well, the economy wasn't so good when I came. That's why I started teaching dancing. That's why I did we got some funny stories here about working in a hospital for half a day, working constructions for 1 day. It was all beautiful. Then it's funny enough that you say Brazilians. We all think of ourselves as Brazilians. Anybody.
Okay.
See, part of the conversation in the United States.
They don't say, where are you from? You
Where
say
you
German.
from? See, that's a very American thing.
Okay.
People always say, no matter how perfect you speak. In Brazil, you only ask if a person has an accent. They say, where are you from? You know? So in Brazil, everybody's a Brazilian. Even though our roots are what they are.
Somewhere else. Okay.
Not on somewhere else. I grew up in a wonderful neighborhood, Bairro de Ipiranga. Ipiranga was the name of the neighborhood. We had everything: Italians, Lebanese, Portuguese, Spanish, Hungarians, Japanese, Chinese.
Wow.
So I am never lost. I don't care where I go.
Right.
Because a friend of mine was one of those things, and I ate their food in their house. So I'm never lost.
And you had your little jar of olive oil.
Huh?
And you had your olive oil when you went to their house.
Yes, in some cases I did. My next door, there were Jewish people from Poland and Russian, wonderful, which taught me, stuff. Taught me shit.
And that's probably why Fiore is so welcoming to everybody.
Well, that was my idea, because I don't want to be goody-goody, because I'm not. But I happen to love people and respect people. Don't get me wrong. I am very perspicacious, and I have awareness.
What does that word mean?
Perspicacious means one that can, or put it in layman terms, can dig a situation without being told. I can look at somebody, and unfortunately, it's a curse that I have. But I know, as I say, this guy is.
You can sort of see into their soul.
This guy doesn't have what it takes for us to be friends, and I give him his space, and I keep mine.
You keep going.
Yeah, because I cannot fake. I cannot fake niceness either.
I've heard that back.
Yeah, it is true.
You know where you stand with that.
Well, I know where I stand, and you notice in the entrance of my home there's a thing that says "Non ducor duco," which is the motto of my city in São Paulo, Brazil, which means I do not follow, I lead.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Well, I definitely have to get that.
You get
I
that?
thought it was the other sign.
Huh?
I thought it was the sign that said, "Please keep gate closed."
Oh, that was. But then also the other one. Do not mind the dogs.
Yeah.
Is the owner.
Yeah.
It's the owner that you have to worry. No, with the grace of God, I get along with people all over the world.
You do.
But again, now here comes the wonderful thing about being Italian, descendant, whatever. When I came to America, one time I got in a conversation with a guy, and he said, Nelson Sardelli, that's my real name.
Yeah.
It sounds like Giuseppe Schwartz,
Okay.
But he said, what are you?
Huh.
I said, I'm Brazilian. He says, Brazilian, but Sardelli is Italian. I said, yeah, my mother and father are Italians. He said, then you're Italian. I said, then I'm Italian. And oddly enough, for the States and in the line of business that I am in, the fact that I am Italian has helped me tremendously.
I see. Yeah, so how did Nelson come about?
Because very common name, Nelson, Newton, Wilson, Washington.
In Brazil?
Pelé, Pelé's name,
Yeah.
his first name is Edson.
I did not know that.
Oh, Edson Nascimento. Yeah, and then I had friends that was Wilson Pensatore, and the other one was the killer, Washington Giacomelli. I mean, you cannot make up those things.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Okay.
but I never gave it a thought. It was,
Right.
Yeah. It was funny too because we have a lot of Japanese friends, and one time one of them was here in the airport, and I was talking to him, but I was talking Portuguese. And when he left, the guy came to me and says, God, I didn't know you spoke Japanese. I said, yeah, it's a different dialect. But, so
let me ask you this.
ask me.
You're an entertainer.
Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly. And Angelo has told me, oh, Nelson was in a lot of spaghetti westerns.
No, I wasn't in the spaghetti western. You see,
So I've seen your pistols.
Oh, yeah. That was part of my show.
But they look like they were real
Oh,
ones.
they are real ones.
Okay.
Ruger Company used to give me guns because without them asking me, I gave them a lot of publicity because I used to work with my guns and people would come, oh, those are great Colts. I say, no, they're not Colts. They're Rugers. And every time with that, they would write an article about it, and I would send to them without ever met them. And I was doing because I thought it was cute. And then I got to meet the guys, and I have some very interesting guns that they gave me, including one that it's signed on top of the barrel by Mr. Ruger, Oh, very, very, very good stuff.
So you weren't in any Western movies?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't
so
the
you
professionals.
The professionals.
Burt Lancaster, Lee Marvin, Jack Palance, Robert Ryan, Ralph Bellamy.
Wow.
Claudia Cardinale, Woody Strode, and a couple of horses. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one. Then I made other things.
Where was that shot?
Oh, that was shot. I started with them here on Valley of Fire. That's where they had such a beautiful hacienda that they built, and then the Vandals they destroyed. Now there's only a piece of wood of a wall. It's yeah. Then we went to Indio, California, and that's where we did the scenes on the train and everything. I did that. Then I did other things that were westerns, like Myra Breckenridge with Mae West. Then I did a show, a movie called Fake Out with Telly Savalas.
Now, did you have an accent in these? Like, were you the Italian cowboy?
I am Nelson Sardelli. On the Fake Out, they did a thing, and it is not me talking.
Oh.
Because they wanted a New Yorker kind of a guy. It was funny. When I went there, I said, gee, I did not know that I do accents.
Okay. So, movies.
Movies, yeah.
Singing.
Singing.
Is that your main,
Primarily, I always thought of me as being more of a funny guy because of the way I think, not because I call myself a comedian.
Right.
I think funny.
Okay. Life is entertaining.
Life is entertaining, and not only this, humor has helped me in great situations.
Sure.
Where if I were to be too serious about it, would be a loss. Even, I don't want to be too dramatic here, but my wife passed away 3 years ago. And she's been sick for many, many years. But the last few months, every so often, looked like she was gone. And my daughter kept coming from New York. My daughter, because Giovanna lives in New York, and she kept coming. So after a little while, we're so devastated, you know, with the experience of the
down and
up and down, up and down
down.
there. That we said, you know, your mom is like the Jehovah Witnesses in heaven. She goes there, knocks on the door, and they don't let her in. So she comes back. You know? So I mean, we did those because it was one way to cope with the situation. Yeah, and but the singing started one night after I came. I was out of the army, and I went into this place called the Old Mill Tavern in Waterford, Michigan. And that was a place in the beginning, before the ubiquitous, I'm going to use that word again. I'm like Hannity used the word specificity. So it's a place where people would go eating, and then they got up and would sing. But they were not professionals.
Right.
But it's like today's the open mic thing.
At the tap house.
But I went there, and I was waiting for a girl that at the time she had been Miss Michigan, you know, and I guess I'm itching because of dogs around me. I was sitting waiting for her, and I don't drink. So the guy, the boss, Mr. Dorman, you know, Louis Dorman, beautiful man, he came and sat next to me. He was the owner. He says, you know, can I buy you a drink? I said, I don't drink, sir. So I said, it's going to be trouble, and it's going to be sober. It's going to be bad. So he looked at me and he says, why don't you sing? I look at him and say, why don't you dance? You know, I mean, what kind of conversation is this? He said, no, you guys got a lot of rhythm. I said, oh, yeah, you guys. I can take it.
Right.
Yeah. So I said, sure. I don't know what came over me. I got up and I went to the piano player, Irene Bader. She's now 100 years old. She's still alive with the grace of God. Irene was one of those musicians that could play any song in any key. But the songs I knew that I was going to sing wasn't in her repertoire. So we end up coming up with listen to this repertoire. Volare, Bésame Mucho, Rock Around the Clock, and Poor Little Fool.
Wow.
With, you know, Nelson, not Willie Nelson, Ricky Nelson.
Oh, okay.
I used to play around with hearts that hasten at my call, you know. So I got that. The guy looked at me and says, you know what? I'm going to give you a job. You're going to sing every Friday and every other Saturday. I went there, I sang the Friday. He says, you come back next week, we do Friday and Saturday. I went next week, he says, next week we do Thursday, Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
Wednesday, Friday and Saturday too. I kept gaining a day. And it became, I worked there for about over 10 months.
It was good money, right?
Huh?
It was good money, right?
Are you kidding? I was getting $21.50 a night, but that's 1959.
So that was good money.
That was good money. I mean, and besides that, I was teaching dance on my terms on the side. So I was making, you know, you always gotta do your thing, and I started seeing my repertoire went from like Sorrento to I'm a Mississippi bullfrog sitting on a hollow stump. I had it. It was beautiful. Then I went to Chicago one day to get a permit to take a car to Brazil. In those days, you buy a car here for $2,000, $3,000, go to Brazil and sell for $11,000.
Wow.
But again, we're talking 1959 and so forth. And I went because I want to see my mother. I hadn't seen her for 3 years. And
but you didn't drive. You shipped the car.
Of course. No, the car goes. It wasn't even mine. I mean, somebody bought it, and what I got out of that was my free trip.
Okay, got it.
Sure.
Okay.
And I went to Chicago, and I was at a place called the Ivanhoe, and there was a band playing. I had never sung with a band until then. A guy came to me out of the blue. He says, you're a performer, you're a singer, aren't you? I said, yeah.
This is why you're on stage?
No, okay. I was there. I was waiting for the car to.
Oh, okay.
For the papers.
Oh, I see. You're at the place to get
papers.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, I'm in the restaurant.
So he recognized you.
So all of a sudden they're calling my name on stage. And I got up and I sang. Because by then I knew songs. So the guy came for me, Mr. Johnson from the Ivanhoe, says, young man, I need you to work starting Monday for 2 weeks because we have the furniture convention. I say, sir, I got a job in a restaurant, in Michigan. He says, I pay you double. Immediately my salary went up.
Yeah.
I said, just a moment. So I called Mr. Dorman. I said, Mr. Dorman, this is what's happening to me. What should I do? He says, take the job, and when you come back, we're going to say direct from Chicago. I worked for 2 weeks there, and then I went back. But then I went to Brazil. When I went to Brazil, instead of to get off in São Paulo, in Santos, where, where I live, São Paulo, I had to get off in Salvador, Bahia, which is northern. So the car would be liberated then. And then I had nothing else to do. While I'm sitting there for 3 days, again, I would stop in a place and I sang. A guy saw me on television. A guy saw me and put me on television.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, things are happening like this. This is why you cannot tell somebody how to become a performer or an artist.
Because so much of it is
because there's no recipe.
Right place at the right time.
There's no recipe. Yeah. And so I got that. Now, mind you, that all the years that I worked here, I collected every single little time that my name came on the paper. You still go to my garage here, and you see books and books, and I kept it. So now I mentioned that I had sung in Bahia on television. So now I go to São Paulo, Brazil, and I met this guy, another Italian, Emilio Colella. Emilio was a sport writer for the Sports Gazette in Brazil, a major newspaper. He took a liking at me. He wrote 2 pages about me.
Wow.
I still have that on the paper. Wow, I say. Then again, I got invited to do a television show, just one song, But when I came to America, people say, "What do you do?" I say, "Well, I am an international artist," and I wasn't lying, right?
Yes.
And one thing moved to the other. I went back to Chicago. I worked in Chicago, all over the place.
Do you remember the very first time you arrived in Las Vegas?
Oh God, yes. I mean,
plane or drive?
No, the first time. No, we always drove.
Drove. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, can you remember driving in when it was finally in sight?
Oh yeah.
And how was it? What was
it like? You would be coming there from Henderson the day when there was desert, and you come in the moment you come over the little hill, that's a punch in the eye because you're in the middle of nowhere and bomba. And mind you, that Vegas in '65 is not what it is today, but was already impressive.
I see. So it was.
Oh, of course.
This is unbelievable.
Not only this, I arrived 2 days before I had to start singing my show, and those days I didn't have my music written for the voices that they needed. Like they needed was 2 trumpets, 2 trombones, different. So I had to have that all, and I'm there looking for an apartment. I got the first apartment I saw where the Treasure Island is now, right behind, so which was behind I forgot the name of the thing, but it's where the Treasure Island is. We got the first apartment, and my wife was pregnant, and I went to looking for somebody to write music for me, And then we stayed there for a few months. Then somebody showed me a house here where Sahara and Valley View meet. There is a Vegas, Las Verdes or something.
And was that kind of the edge of town?
Well, still beginning, know. Because, no, there's still, you could go a little bit farther north or west.
Blocks.
Yeah. But I remember that was the first house the guy showed me. I said, we buy it. We move in. Same thing, and I stayed there for 6 years. Then in '72, we decided it was time to, and we went looking for houses. and I want to spend only 50,000. Then I say, okay, we go 60. I said, all right, we'll go 75 because the family was growing, and I finally find this house, which I have been here since 1972. You went through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Now, there was no bridges over the fountain, over the swimming pool.
Okay. Now, your first house, did you have the flagpoles there too?
No, but I always had at least the small flagpole.
For the American flag.
Yeah. And in those days, nobody came to you and told you to remove. First of all, because they wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I got it. Like I said, this people don't see me without this.
Right.
I am, like I said, I'm American.
Yeah. Well, when you are at the club and we do the Pledge of Allegiance, you usually make some statement that if you're in the service, you can salute the flag.
Sure. We'll be
as
talking
opposed
about,
to putting your hand over your heart.
Oh yes. No, I mean, like I said, I believe that I came to America and I became a citizen 5 years after I had arrived, and not because I was in the army, because I was in the army on peacetime.
Huh.
And when you are in the army on peacetime, it doesn't make you automatically a citizen. And when I wait 5 years, boom, I became a citizen. I said, let's get with the program. And
well, let's talk for a second about how did you come up with the idea of the Fiore Club?
Well, the Fiore Club. People keep hearing us say Fiore. I had years ago started a club, not a club. That was really an organization.
Club.
No. That was the CAST, which was to help entertainers that were down and out or going through hard times.
Got it.
And unfortunately, at that time, too many egos, and also I could not get a financial report from our treasurer.
Not good.
And I said, no. I said, because right now I know that we have taken $18,000. If the excretion hits the propeller, I will be able to give everybody their money because I have $18,000.
Right.
But if it goes much more than that, so politely, I disassociate myself with that. I had started that.
Yeah.
And then I sat around. I said, what this place needs is a club that is not a club.
Got it.
So again, I call upon a few friends, and we started saying, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a group of friends that meet. So after we talk a couple of times in a little place, I decided to have the first irreverent meeting where we formed the Fiore. So I remember the flag on the background was not the American flag, was a flag from the state of São Paulo, my state. I mean, just to show that the Fiore was off the wall.
Got it.
And I explained to them, Fiore is going to be the letters in Italian. Fiore means flower, but not for us. For us, it means acronym for Fun Italians Organizing Ridiculous Events. And you must, now this is the important part, very adamant, you must be Italian or not. You know what I mean? So, I want to show that it's really, we have everything there.
And you do.
We do. We have every nationality, religion, whatever, because that's not, and we have no agenda. We meet for the simple love of camaraderie, friendship, and we give stuff away.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
I was there.
Yeah, but I mean, we have given, of course, some that we give are kind of crappy little things.
Yeah, I got tickets to the Frank show.
That's great. See? But also, we, like one time, Conrad Villela, he had an art shop, and he closed it. He wanted to go out of business. So on Christmas, we had over $2,000 of artwork there that we gave, and we just give. Now, what happens sometimes is that a guy, instead of to wait for his number to be picked up, he makes an offer.
Sure.
So we make a couple of bucks because the Fiore costs $1 to join, and you're a president.
Right.
If you're a woman, you are a first. If you're a woman married to a guy, you are a first lady. If you are a single woman, you are an ambassador. We're going to say in terms, but the connotations were not acceptable due to the Clinton action. So anyway, so we have that, and of course, like for the men, 25 a year dues, for the wives 15, and 10, and for the single ladies 15. Why? Because we have live music in every, and I'm not talking just, I'm talking live music, and 4 times a year when we have some serious events like Christmas, Valentine's Day, our anniversary, which is coming in July, and Halloween, we give chocolates and flowers to the ladies. So all this is money, because at the end of the year, at the end of the year, every time we're right there. The money comes in, goes out.
Yeah, well, it's a great event. When I was there, which wasn't last week, I think you had one, right?
Yeah.
I was there the month before.
We do second Thursdays of every month.
Okay.
Unless we do an evening event, and then it could fluctuate.
And so I met Cousin It. Does he always go?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cousin It has been with us from the very beginning. Cousin It is the actor and stuntman Italian. He's really born.
He was in La Voce.
La Voce, yeah. Cousin It is from the Adams family.
Correct.
But he's been in many, many movies. But anytime you can go there, you see, you've at the Fiore, you've seen Pat Cooper, Shecky Green, Marty Allen, Steve Rossi before he passed away, Frankie Randall, many names that, Don Dino.
Sure.
And but it isn't just an entertainers club. We happen to have a great number of entertainers, but we have judges.
Okay.
We have doctors. We have lawyers. We even have a lady that was the queen of strippers. She's 82 years old now. She wrote books. Brilliant people. What we have in the club that is unmatched and unparalleled, we have such a tremendous, wonderful group of people, and the camaraderie. Because we're not pushing out. We are not political. Yeah. We are non-charitable in a sense. Everybody wants to do charity in their own. Yeah. And which of course we.
It's interesting people that like being around other interesting people. Is my observation of it.
Because we've had the CIA guys gave lectures. We have politicians, but not talking about politics or candidates putting their.
When I was there, it was a UFO guy.
The UFO guy. See what I mean?
Robin Leach next month.
Robin Leach is coming. Next month is a gentleman that was a double spy.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's next month. Robin is June.
Robin is June. Next month is Art Lindbergh.
Okay.
And then we have had governors that spoke, you know what I mean? Mayor. And it's funny because we just had Frank Shinta. That's
what I missed.
He was brilliant. I mean, there's going to be a nice article about him that somebody wrote it. And it's great. So there was a time when I was almost struggling, not struggling, but people say Fiore, and I said, we'd like to have somebody to speak. Because we can have fun without the speakers.
Right.
I mean, we're not, but it's good when somebody comes, and mostly they can be a fun person. Heidi Harris was pretty funny. Pia Zadora was there too, And so now it's getting much easier to get people that want to come and talk to us.
Well, when I was there, it seemed to me it was hard to get a seat.
Well, the Italian American Club, which, by the way, is one of the finest places in town. The food has just been voted best Italian.
By the critics.
Yeah, but I mean, Angelo Cassaro deserves a lot of credit on that.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Girard and Ben Spano, for what they did, the club is a classic club, but it only seats 220 people. So we have had some lunches with full capacity. And we don't stop in the summer. We carry on, you know, because not everybody goes to the Riviera. You know, not everybody goes to Italy and Europe and stuff. So it's been great. And for me, I sometimes want to say, I think I have put more effort in this than I put in my career because I enjoy it. It gives me pleasure to see that people are happy, you know. So,
what do you say about Las Vegas as a city overall? Because you've been to a lot of places in the world.
Exactly. Talking about, I'll go right back to that. When I went to Australia, I've been there 33 times.
Wow.
First time I went to Australia, this club seats 1,000 people. And I was lucky. I was not known. I had 700 and some. On the second night, you could not come in, get in, due to the Sicilians, the Italians got on the phone. You gotta come and see this guy. It was beautiful. That was the Italian. That's another place you gotta go and love. Sydney or Melbourne.
I've been to Sydney.
Oh, but the Italian people over there, I never had so much fun. I think I ate in 2 or 3 restaurants because everybody would either take me to their house or bring food to to the hotel. I have friends that really they're dear to my heart now, and I even went one time to Australia to say a eulogy to one of the ladies that passed away. That they were like family to me, you know.
Wow.
But Vegas, I've been here, like I said, since 1965. I do not see myself living in any other city in the world. I love the whole thing about this. Like, you know, I have a place in Brazil. My family's still there. I got, you know, things in Italy, but this is everything. And now that we are, the Italian community seem to be getting a little bit more united and more organized.
Agreed.
It's very good. But also, on top
you play a big part in that.
Huh?
You play a big part in that.
I try to, you know.
I think it's your picture at the club.
As you enter, right?
Exactly. Well, everybone else's pictures on that side. Your picture's on this side above the holy water.
Yeah, with the holy water. But what the beauty here is that, you know, Las Vegas now we're getting more theater, we're getting slowly culture, because before we had everything, the best of everything, but we are short on the theater. And I say so much about the theater because my daughter Giovanna, she's directing a place. She's got one play in New York and one play in Palo Alto next to Sacramento. Okay. She's going back and forth directing. And for a woman, that's not an easy place to be in directing. And she's got another great job in the biggest theater in Los Angeles. And my other daughter is here. She's a VIP at the Spring Preserve.
Oh, okay.
She's all the events.
Okay.
You know, she's there, Pietro is there. So I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed with the daughters that I have, and
okay, so I have one last question.
The dogs. Okay.
No. Different question.
Yeah. You know, you are a special person. They have never relaxed in front of somebody like this. Mostly her. Even though, look, she's got the eye on you.
Yeah, she's watching me.
Yeah, she's...
Next commercial.
I won't take it. Let me say. Let us... I never thought to stop this thing. Yeah.
Okay, last question.
Last question.
Sauce or gravy?
Sauce or gravy? Sauce.
Not gravy.
No, the gravy for me you put on those southern biscuits or stuff like that.
Okay.
Sauce. Yeah.
Thank you, Nelson.
Are you kidding? I enjoy this tremendously. I just feel sorry for the people at home that are stuck with this because we went all over.
This was great, and I can't wait to do it again.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing me into the house.
Are you kidding? My pleasure. My pleasure.